Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of stories to share with you about more election related arrests. So these were before the election, some after the election. So this is what's going down. Before the election, Florida man Nicholas Farley was arrested. He was charged with voter intimidation and corruptly influencing an election. This is because he yelled anti Semitic slurs at a campaign worker named Lily Loudon. So the prosecutor hit Farley also with hate crimes, or with an enhancement for hate crimes, I should say. But Loudon said that Farley also drove his car at her. He sped up, she said, and then at the last minute he swerved. And she said he came pretty close to her body, pretty close to hitting her. Now, his remarks were recorded, but only in audio. So, I'm not sure if anyone caught everything on video and him allegedly swerving his car at her. But, if not, Farley obviously could end up getting just a slap on the wrist. I mean, we're talking about Margaritaville here, after all. So, he also already got a pass on another alleged racist attack, and this was just earlier this year. So check this out.
We learned West Palm Beach charged Farley in July with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after an African-American man said Farley stated some kind of racial slur. Then when Farley approached him, he saw what Farley was holding in his hand and was pointing at him was a gun. Those charges were dropped. The alleged victim tells us by phone it was because authorities did not have the proof that Farley actually pointed the gun at him.
So this guy sounds like a ticking time bomb. And, now with Trump's win, guys like this, bigots like this, are only going to feel even more emboldened. We're seeing that already. I have more videos for you today that clearly prove that. So anyway, I will stay on that story. I'll let you know what happens. I also have a story to share about two women who were arrested for stealing and casting other people's ballots. And guess what? They're not Democrats. Imagine. So here's the deal. Colorado residents Vivki Lyn Stuart and her friend Sally Jane Maxedon, I think is how you pronounce it, they've been arrested. They've been charged with forgery, identity theft, and attempting to influence a public servant. Stuart, who, by the way, was a United States postal worker until this happened, and she is an unaffiliated voter, by the way. She is accused of conspiring with her Republican friend, the woman named Maxedon. They were trying to, quote unquote, test the Arizona state signature verification system, the Colorado verification system. So they're accused of stealing a bunch of ballots. They filled them out and then they submitted them during this election, just this general 2024 election. And the prosecutors are saying it could be as many as 20 ballots. However, the charging documents mention 16 victims. So I don't know where the discrepancy is or if they haven't just nailed it all down. But unfortunately, 3 of the ballots that they submitted made it through. So there was an election judge who failed to forward these ballots to an additional review. And so they can't be pulled. They cannot be removed from the vote count because evidently the way a lot of the systems work, a lot of the election systems in this country, there's an automated system. It flags the signatures if they look off. Well, the election judge is supposed to review this. He did in this instance, but he allowed them to pass through. And according to the Colorado Sun news outlet, the judge has now been reassigned. But as I said, it's too late because of the way the ballots are processed and handled after they've been processed. So in, I believe, most of the country, once a ballot moves through the system and it's counted, the voter is basically anonymous. So there is no way to trace a specific ballot to a specific voter. It can't be tied back to that voter. I don't know why. I believe in California, there's like a barcode so they know who it came from. I'm not 100% positive on that, but I believe so. Um, and here's how these women were caught. So in October, election officials contacted the real voters and they said, hey, we need you to come in and what they call cure your ballot, right? So if the signature doesn't match, the voter can come in and they can explain, oh, you know what, I have carpal tunnel, or, I'm getting older, my hands don't move the way they used to, or whatever. And they can come in and they can quote unquote cure their ballot, prove that yes, this was in fact me. I did sign it, or someone else signed it on my behalf, whatever the case may be. So when they reached out to these voters, the voters said, I haven't cast my ballot. So what they did was they got fingerprints off of the ballots and they checked the law enforcement database and they found Maxedon. Because guess what, as we should know for a Trump supporter, she's another one of Trump's fine people with a criminal history. In 2008, Maxedon was arrested on suspicion of possession of materials to make meth, possession of a controlled substance with the intent to sell that controlled substance, and possession of a controlled substance. Then another arrest the day before. So there's that case. I will stay on that as well, let you know when I hear more. There was another arrest also the day before the election. There was a Democratic House member, there is a Democratic House member named Jared Moskowitz. You may have heard of him. He issued a statement saying, quote, the individual in question was arrested not far from my home. He is a former felon who was in possession of a rifle, a suppressor, and body armor. Found with him was a manifesto that, among other things, included anti-Semitic rhetoric and only my name on the target list. There are many other details that I will not disclose as I do not want to interfere with an ongoing investigation. So Moskowitz, you guys might know, he's an outspoken critic of Trump, of the Republicans, and their true weaponization of Congress against Trump opponents. Sounds like another MAGA maniac, another guy with a criminal history out there, doing something crazy for Trump. So I do have one arrest report from the left. There was, on election day, a 25-year-old Michigan resident named Isaac Sissel who was arrested for threatening to kill Christian conservatives. So Sissel apparently repeatedly posted on Reddit. He was using names like shoot up Trump, I will shoot Trump, planning to shoot Trump, a bunch of things like that. One of Sissel's posts read, quote, I shall carry out an attack against conservative Christian filth in the event Trump wins the election. I have stolen AR-15 and a target I refuse to name so I can continue to get away with my plans. Without a specific victim or ability to find the place I hid the gun, there's not a thing the FBI can do until I complete the attack. He also said that Trump is a, quote, piece of shit that should have been assassinated and that everything would be better if Trump was dead. I mean, show me the lie. But anyway, Sissel never threatened Trump. But if someone else was going to, do something to him, he found out that somebody else was going to assassinate him, Sissel said that he had a quote unquote duty not to intervene. He did not have a weapon when he was arrested, so he could be correct about that. I mean, I don't know what they can really get him on, but he does have a criminal history as well. He has a criminal history of stalking and harassment. There was another Michigan resident that was arrested on election day. This is not necessarily related to the election, but it is politically motivated. And I think this guy is on the right, at least it seems like it from some of his posts, but we'll see. So 28-year-old Austin Olson tried to enter the Capitol on November 5th, and officers said that Olson smelled like he had doused himself in gasoline. And they believe that he was planning to set himself on fire because he was carrying a flare gun, a torch lighter, 2 bottles of fuel, and a manifesto that basically outlined his anger about the Biden administration's response to the Israel-Hamas war. So Olson has been charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, unlawful activities, and disorderly conduct. And there were many political videos that they found on his YouTube and Rumble channels. In one video, he said, quote, "If my persecution and death means the truth lives, I'll pick up my cross." And then on social media posts, basically, like I said, it indicates an alignment with MAGA, with the right wing. So Olson was espousing anti-Semitic views. He talked about the Great Replacement theory, which is definitely a right wing thing. For those who don't know, it's a racist belief that minorities are being used basically by the Democratic Party to replace white people. Just sick people. Anyway, I don't get this. I mean, several other people have already done what he was going to do, or what it appears that Olson was planning to do. I mean, I agree with the critique of our government's role in the murder of tens of thousands now of innocent Palestinians, including children, babies. But this doesn't help, right? I mean, numerous people, numerous men have now self-immolated. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. So, some random person thinks that because they lit themselves on fire, everything's going to change. The government's going to rethink their position. Save your lighter fluid. It's not going to help. They're not going to do anything different. So, unfortunately, AIPAC has a lot of money, and yeah, our politicians are going to do what they're paid to do. So it's sad. It's very sad. But yeah, this guy, again, not thinking clearly. Let's just put it that way. All right. Anyway, you guys, I will let you know when I hear more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.